Tonight on CTV News at 5.
It's not very big, but it's enough that I can maybe get by if an emergency actually pops up.
Costly curveballs. Canadians struggle to build up a financial cushion for emergency expenses.
I think it's really just a great place where people can come and really get out of their shells. Don't have to worry about being judged and really feel like they have a place to belong.
Plus, everyone is welcome here. Meet some of the happy campers at Club Inclusion.
It's a good feeling to know that the legacy that we've started will continue on.
And the Africville reunion. The stage is set to celebrate one of Nova Scotia's historic communities.
A mostly clear night and then plenty of sunshine in the weekend forecast.
Live from the Maritimers News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
I like the sound of that. Hi there, everybody. Happy Friday. Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Panopoulos. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 tonight, budget blown. From a broken down car to a leaky roof. If you had to shell out $1,500 for an unexpected expense, could you? Do you even have an emergency fund? As CTV's Stephanie Seekos reports, the high cost of living has made it even harder to save for a rainy day. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Maria. More than half of Atlantic Canadians were hit with an emergency expense in the last 12 months alone, according to a new poll, and a third don't have an emergency fund. It's hard enough to pay for everyday expenses.
Rent has gotten so crazy that people can barely afford to pay rent, let alone actually get food.
To prepare for the unexpected, Damon Seaton even opened a credit card for the very first time.
I just tried to, live within my means, but things have gotten so rough lately when it comes to food and finances that I kind of needed a safety net, so I just recently went and picked one up. It's not very big, but it's enough that I can maybe get by if an emergency actually pops up.
According to a recent poll by RBC, 45% of Atlantic Canadians are worried they're one major expense away from being over the edge financially.
I think if you look at how expenses have risen versus incomes rising and everything like that, the squeeze had to happen sooner or later, and it's just been here for a while. So it's how do we adjust what we do to handle that?
When it comes to emergency savings, 83% say the high cost of living is making it harder to build or maintain them. 57% say they haven't saved enough for emergencies, and 42% say they've dipped into their emergency fund for other expenses. Financial planner Wendy Brookhouse says there are small ways to start building that fund.
If you don't have a lot, $20 a week, automate it. Don't wait to see what's left over at the end, because there never is. So what if we just put the 20 out and we dealt with what's left in behind? And these things can take time to grow, but they do grow.
In terms of what unexpected expenses Atlantic Canadians are most worried about right now, 47% say a car repair or unexpected transportation costs, 42% say a major home repair, and 28% say medical or health costs. While many people are not prepared in the event of an emergency, that's not the case for everyone.
I'm economical. My family would call me, but my parents always made us that way. Just spend what you need to spend and save. Always save.
The poll also asked how someone would handle a major unexpected expense right now. 40% say they would turn to savings. Another 40% say they would put it on their credit card. And 11% would borrow from family and friends. Maria.
Oh, very insightful. Thank you, Stephanie. CTV Stephanie Seekos for us in the news center this evening. That actually brings us to tonight's web poll. It's simple. This is what we're asking. Do you have an emergency fund for unexpected expenses? The options are yes or no. Just go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in and to see the latest poll results. All right, Todd Batt is standing by now with a look at the day's headlines. Hi there, Todd.
Hi there, Maria. And this story will not help folks. In that previous story and what we were just talking about with Stephanie, world events are once again wreaking havoc with fuel prices close to home. The cost for a liter of gasoline has jumped. The expanding war in Iran is a major part of the problem. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from Maritimers about how these increased pump prices are driving them to stay closer to home this summer. Maritime political powerhouse has passed away. Elmer MacKay held numerous positions in Ottawa, representing the Nova Scotia riding of Central Nova. MacKay was famously known for giving up his seat to then PC leader Brian Mulroney so he could get into Parliament. We'll take a look back at his life and career at 6 o'clock. A Moncton company has come up with technology that may help detect breast cancer earlier. It uses breath analysis to find cancer in women with dense breast tissue. They're partnering with Vitalite Health Network on an international clinical study that involves some big names. And we will visit them tonight at 6 o'clock. Let's visit the CTV Weather Center now. Meteorologist Kayla Mitchell standing by with some rather impressive numbers on the map.
Yeah, it turned out to be a very nice late July day across a good portion of the Maritimes. The only areas that were held maybe just slightly cooler with temperatures a little bit more moderate today were locations where the wind was basically coming in off of ocean water. So that showed up around the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick and parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. We're at this hour, those direct coastal areas are mostly being held with some temperatures in the low 20s, whereas much of the rest of the Maritimes right now, if we're heading into the early evening, is sitting with temperatures around the mid to high 20s. Not a lot of humidity in the air either, so checking in on humidex values, in most cases, it's only making it feel about a degree or two warmer, and checking in on the dew point temperatures, which is a measure of moisture in the air. Anytime they're basically down around the low teens or high single digits, that's usually a pretty comfortable level of humidity for us, and we can expect that level of humidity to generally continue for the Maritimes moving into and through the upcoming weekend. Here's a look at those winds, mostly out of the south and southwest, in a lot of cases being sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. Not much going on when it comes to wind gusts. One at Greenwood in the Annapolis Valley near 28 kilometers per hour, and a couple being reported up towards the northeast New Brunswick between 30-40 kilometers per hour. Over on radar and satellite, some fair weather cumulus clouds around parts of the region. There was a bit more cloudiness around parts of Nova Scotia for today, though it was mostly thin, high cloud cover. And that's just what's left of that weather front that has now moved well east of our region, and following up and behind that is an area of high pressure that's going to keep generally clear conditions in place for tonight and give us some sunshine for that weekend forecast. So more on that later on. Maria.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. Right now, it's time for our first break here on CTV News at 5. Still ahead, though, we'll stop by the Africville reunion as organized to prepare for the big weekend ahead. And coming up next, everyone fits in here.
We make sure that everybody, no matter what their ability level is included in all of our programs and activities.
A special camp gives everyone a seat at the table. Club inclusion next.
Don't miss Crescendo Fest from July 28th to August 1st. Celebrate Black music and culture with a 2-day conference, plus musical events around Halifax and surrounding communities. For more information, visit crescendofest.com.
Welcome back. So Club Inclusion is focused on building friendships, skills, and memories. CTV's Mike Lamb dropped by their camp this week where everyone is welcome.
We're at Club Inclusion. We've been around here for over 15 years. We're part of the Prescott Group. It's a wonderful place where people of all abilities can come, hang out, be themselves, learn new skills, and really have a great time. You don't have to have a disability to come here, but a lot of our friends do. It's just because we're an inclusive space. We make sure that everybody, no matter what their ability level is included in all of our programs and activities. I think it's really just a great place where people can come and really get out of their shells. Don't have to worry about being judged and really feel like they have a place to belong.
So this is my favorite place in the whole world. I actually been here since it opened, 2008. It started as just a theater group, and now it has grown into an amazing place. We have day programs, we have cooking clubs. The best part is a drama club, which we get to act every year and put on plays for people to come and see us and just to have fun. We do so many programs, but in the summer is the best time because we have our summer camps. We go on amazing trips. This morning, we are doing some nice paintings here. We're painting a beautiful ocean picture because this week is Aqua Week. This picture is like a picture of the sea and a mermaid, and I can't wait for me to finish mine because it's going to look marvelous.
This is really valuable for carers and parents because they know when they drop off their child or whoever they're caring for that they're going to be safe, they're going to be looked after, that they're going to foster independence, and they're going to have a good time. It's really just positive environment, and you always leave with a smile.
I love how we are all different, but we have sometimes we have the same things that we like. We can just hang around and just talk for hours. The staff are amazing here. If we did not have the staff here, this club would not exist. But I'm glad that we have lots of staff here and I have lots of friends because it's more than just friendship, it's like our family here.
Oh, it certainly seems that way. And Christine, thank you for sharing your beautiful world. We love that.
If the summer camp is still going on this weekend,
yes,
they have fantastic weather for it. Pretty ideal summer conditions expected both Saturday and Sunday for the Maritimes. Great weather to do things such as paddleboarding.
Ooh, I love that.
And looking at that out here in St. John, I will have more on those weekend weather details coming up after this break.
So here you go. This is what happens when both the bride and the groom are drummers. Melody and Matthew sent us this video from their wedding last month. The newlyweds, who were married on June 20th at the Tabernacle in Hartland, New Brunswick, ditched the traditional reception entrance for a drum duo. They treated their guests to a friendly battle that's now gone viral with over 16,000 views. Kaylin, congratulations to the two of you. Can you imagine what a Saturday night's like at their house? Very loud.
That marriage is going to be marching to the beat of its own drum.
Oh yeah, bump, bump, bump. Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, you guys. All right, so we are all hoping for a beautiful weekend. I think we're due.
Yeah, and we have that in the forecast right now. Let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times. We're going to out to the Confederation Bridge. Beautiful waters there in Northumberland Strait. We were talking about water temperatures at the beaches around parts of the Maritimes during the commercial break. And right now, you know, some of the beaches around the Northumberland Strait have some water temperatures pretty close to 20 degrees. There are chillier beach water temperatures, though, down around the south shore of Nova Scotia. There, some of the beach water temperatures sitting at around 11 to 13 degrees. No big surprise, though, as we know, getting north of the Carolinas, Northumberland Strait, Gulf of St. Lawrence, some of the warmest waters out there. Let's take a look at our weather systems map, and barometric pressure is on the higher side as we're now past that weather front that made its way through the middle part of this week, bringing the region some rain and some thunderstorms in behind that. It is this area of high pressure that's going to be in place for much of the weekend, and that does begin for this evening and tonight. So if you have Friday evening and night plans, you don't really have to watch for any sort of precipitation. It is going to be either clear or clearing. I say clearing because there is still some of that cloud cover left to clear out of eastern areas of Nova Scotia, which will take place as we make our way towards midnight. Winds will be relatively light. During the overnight hours, we could see some fog develop, especially around the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick and coastal areas of the southwest of Nova Scotia. Now, any fog that is around for first thing Saturday morning will be dissipating or retreating off the coastline as we make our way into the afternoon, which is expected to be sunny for all three maritime provinces. And then we're looking at fairly clear conditions for Saturday evening and Saturday night, and similar conditions in the forecast for Sunday, with the exception of some cloud cover that is expected to return through the day around the Atlantic coastal counties of Nova Scotia. And that's from a low pressure system that's a bit further offshore of the maritime region. Taking a look at the winds in the forecast, as we head towards midnight, they remain mostly out of a south and southwest direction. They become light by that point in time. Any winds that are still around the Maritimes will mostly fall into a range around 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. And in the forecast for Saturday, winds generally out of the south, and they'll be sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour, which is pretty light by our standards here in the maritime region. Now, that southerly wind will still be a little bit more onshore around the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick and parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. So for those direct coastal areas, temperatures will still be moderated a little bit by that onshore wind. Lows in the forecast for tonight for most of the region, though. High single digits and low teens, mid-teens for parts of Prince Edward Island. So Charlottetown tonight down to around 15 degrees. And then highs in the forecast for tomorrow around the Maritimes. Away from those few coastal areas that I mentioned, most of the highs will will be up to around the mid to high 20s, including some touching on 29 for tomorrow, including Fredericton and Moncton. Charlottetown will be up to around 27 degrees. 26 for Sydney tomorrow and Cape Breton. 25 city centers, Halifax and Dartmouth. Though if you're a little bit further inland, you're going to see those temperatures climb up close to 26, 27 and 28 degrees. Let's take a look at the forecast for Sunday. It remains sunny for New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. A little bit of cloud cover increases through the day around Atlantic coastal Nova Scotia. Again, most of the high temperatures mid to high 20s, though around parts of the Bay of Fundy coastline and direct coastal areas of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia, the high temperatures will be around the low to mid 20s. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 6-year-old Lucy Bourgeois McGibbon from Middle Sackville, Nova Scotia. And Lucy has sent us a drawing of watching a big thunderstorm with her sister Charlie from the bedroom window. Thank you, Lucy. Weather watchers can be sent in to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So a Canadian professor has won the biggest prize in math. As CTV's Janice Golding reports, he solved a theory that stumped mathematicians for decades.
So we award Jacob Zimmerman with the Fields Medal.
A Canadian has just won the 2026 Fields Medal, the mathematical equivalent of the Nobel Prize. University of Toronto math professor Dr. Jacob Zimmerman, the first scholar at a Canadian institution and the second Canadian to receive the award.
This is the most prestigious achievement for every mathematician, but I'm really proud that I'm his student and I get to work with him for the past 5 years.
The Fields Medal is awarded every 4 years to up to 4 mathematicians under the age of 40. Zimmerman, a U of T and Princeton alumnus, honored in part for helping prove the Andre Oort conjecture, a problem that had stumped mathematicians for decades.
In a nutshell, it's saying this. Let's say you have a space. If this space contains many special points, then the ambient space that you're living in should be special.
I studied the application of homonomiality to algebraic geometry.
In this promotional video, Zimmerman describes his passion for his work and the way his mind operates.
Most of my work is entirely in my head. There's no experiment, there's no lab, there's just ideas. It's just you and the problem.
Zimmerman was a math prodigy, winning 2 gold medals at the International Mathematical Olympiad in high school, beginning his BA at just 16 and completing it within 2 years. 5 years later, he'd earned his PhD from Princeton. Today, the U of T professor says mathematics is ultimately about solving puzzles.
There's this permanent feeling of being stuck when you're doing math. You're constantly trying to get from A to B. There's nothing really around to help you except for other people who maybe have other good ideas.
A sentiment echoed by colleagues back at the University of Toronto who cheered his achievement on from afar.
It is a very community-driven activity, and so when one of us succeeds, it's like, in a way, it's a kind of inspirational success to the whole community.
The Fields Medal is named after the late John Charles Fields, a celebrated Canadian mathematician who also attended and taught at U of T. It was established in 1932 to recognize young mathematicians who have made outstanding contributions to the field. Janice Golding, CTV News.
What an accomplishment. All right, time for our last break here on CTV News at 5. But first, a preview of our final story of the week.
I'm Vanessa Wright here in Africville, where the 43rd reunion is well underway. I'll tell you all about the details coming up next on CTV News at 5.
With Aaron and Peter. Hey, you can win $1,000 in under 60 seconds every weekday at 7.
That's when we play $1,000 Minute. Your chance to win $1,000 with us.
Welcome back. So one of Nova Scotia's historic communities has come together for its 43rd reunion. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, hundreds will gather in Africville to honor history and heritage.
It makes me feel good and also sad that there's no reminiscence of a house or anything on the property.
It's a bittersweet time of year for Beatrice Wilkins. While she's excited to see the Africville community come together to celebrate its 43rd reunion, as someone who used to live here, it's also a reminder of the history.
We were a vibrant community. We occupied the lands for more than 150 years. We were self-sustaining. We did okay until the city decided they wanted the land.
At that time in the 1960s, the city called it an urban renewal. It forced thousands of people out of their homes, stripping the community of a place they loved.
You could go knock on anybody's door if you had a problem, if you were hungry, you wanted a snack, and they were always here to help you. And that's what we miss. That's what's lost, that community connection, and never knowing what happened to our people, especially our seniors.
It's the kind of history that's remembered and honored every year on the last week of July. Generations of Africville descendants camp out on the site, simply enjoying each other's company.
You get to see people that you may not have seen for the whole year. You get to see family members that you don't get to see often. There's so much love in the air.
The reunion kicked off yesterday with lots more on the agenda.
So we have a lot of activities, a lot of great giveaways. We have musical performances, we have DJs, so we have a lot of stuff that should really get them hyped and want to come out.
Tomorrow, Saturday, we're going to have a seniors bingo at 1 o'clock. Come on down. And Sunday, of course, we always end our activity with a church service on the Sunday.
Keeping Africville's memory alive for many more years to come.
It gives me joy to know that our legacy lives on. People are still knowing Africville, even though they didn't live it, they sense it from what we talk about as children of Africville today. And it's a good feeling to know that the legacy that we've started will continue on.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Oh, thank you so much, Vanessa. And Kaylin, what a wonderful weekend.
Yes.
For a reunion, I'd say.
I was happy that we had a couple of rainy weather systems move through over the last several days.
Yeah.
Because I kind of saw that there was going to be a sunnier, drier stretch ahead of us here. And we're into that now. And it's going to last, of course, it was around for today and for the weekend into the start of next week. It might be towards, sort of middle to late next week when we're looking at our more widespread sort of rainy or showery weather system for the Maritime region. So that's what's ahead as we finish off the month of July, and I'll have more details on that coming up at 6.
Excellent. We'll see you and Todd at 6 o'clock. I will see you on Monday. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a super weekend. The national news is next.